Floyd Patterson, who used to wear, disguises to sneak out of the ring and stuff when he lost.
But there's a euphoria in being knocked out?
I think it's that it's over, all that shit, all that hostility, all that
Floyd
anger.
was a weird cat.
It's a weird
Floyd
business.
Patterson, Sam touched on it, and we won't have time to go all the way into it. Floyd Patterson literally, after a fight, would put on a fake mustache and like an afro wig and walk through the crowd like, come on, you can do your best. And very strange dude. Well, and always fought super below his weight.
Freddie Roach always said, fighters are special people, and to a certain extent, one of the lessons I really learned is that, not all men are created equal. I think we all know that, as athletes or whatever.
What do you say to the people, like, when you tell people that you've wrestled, it's almost like an outright dismissal of there's like this erotic dismissal, and they go, yeah, guys laying around with their balls in each other's face. Yeah, nice sport.
Yeah. Oh, no, well, missionary position is what jiu-jitsu looks like, you know what I mean? It's like dudes humping,
But how do you convince the lay person that's not into MMA that sees two guys laying on top of one another?
I actually got into this from the Daily Beast, and I wrote something for them. I don't know if I can even find it, but it was basically, try it. You know what I mean? It's so asexual you won't believe it, because somebody's trying to kill you, man. Like, it's not fucking sexual at all. Like, you try it and you realize, like, you don't have time to worry about anything but not getting killed. And particularly MMA, where you're getting punched in the face. Now your sport jiu-jitsu is really gone, and you're really not thinking.
Then you cover your face, and then you get a leg kick to your shin.
Yeah, well,
and then you're on the ground, and you're trying to avoid not to be choked.
I'm talking about being on the ground, and like the naked guys wrestling part of it, and it looks like missionary position, but when you're in it, you're so far from being, you're in sphincter tightening, survival mode, really. And
how much of your meditation did you find? In hindsight, I know at the time you couldn't possibly, I wouldn't think you could be aware of it, but in hindsight, in your MMA fight, how much mindfulness or mindlessness did you have in the throes of battle? Or were you constantly going, what the fuck,
mindless.
what the fuck,
No, I'm pretty mindless. I'm not that smart. I get, I lose it. I'm just I dissociate a little bit or whatever, I actually had some injuries coming in and blah, blah, blah. Everybody does. But, fuck it's an easy one for me. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with fuck it. I'll do a lot of dumb shit.
Well, when someone's hitting you in the face and it's your job to counter, block, get out of the way, slide to the side, and then hit him in the face or take it to the ground, shoot the leg,
I can't think of any of that stuff. I'm just like,
so
what do I do?
React.
Get him. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not smart enough. There's guys who can, and there's guys, I think with a lot more practice.
But how many, all right, here's a better question. How many of the top athletes that we see doing MMA on the UFC and stuff are thinking on the 15 moves ahead on the chessboard, and how much of it is I'm not thinking anything, I'm just doing because I've been programmed this way, and like you and your meditation reaching another level of consciousness, it's just sort of that like water flowing downhill. Like, hey man, Chael Sonnen shoots into me, I sprawl. Like I know when I wrestle, and look,
no, you're training.
I don't want to sound like a douche. I wrestled in fucking high school.
Right. No,
that's all I know.
But
I know I got to a point when someone shot in on me. I didn't think sprawl.
No.
I was sprawled with a crossface and a whizzer before I even knew, before that guy was done shooting.
And that's where it has to be for a lot of things.
But I don't know what it's like when someone's punching me in my face.
It's the same. It doesn't change that much. It just gets a little harder, I think. I think
you're so laid back about it. It's the same, dude. You can do it.
You can do it.
You get punched in the face. It's cool.
Here's the thing about getting punched in the face. Like, I find when I talk to some, like, even like when I talked to Rulon Gardner once, the wrestler, and about
heavyweight Olympic champion,
and guys who don't fight, there's like a feeling about fighting that it's a little bit like sex when you're a virgin. You're like, oh my god, sex is gonna be fucking crazy. My dick's gonna go, I'm like, all this crazy shit's like, you know what I mean? There's this like, the unknown is this huge thing. And that's what these guys, getting punched in the face, a fight is like that. It's not, it's just, you're just dealing with shit and you're trying to deal with it, and it gets a little harder because it's harder to think, and it's, you become more confused as the more shit you eat, and one leads to another. I mean, I'm not an expert, because
shit, you mean fists?
Yeah, okay. The more punches and stuff, and the tireder you get, and I don't even know where I was going. But anyway, So I think in terms of what the top guys are doing, there's a mixture. They're not thinking 15 moves ahead, and not even, interestingly, not even the great chess players do that. Josh Waitzkin was a guy I interviewed for the second book, who was a
Searching for Bobby Fischer was a
well, and also great chess player. But he's like, they're only the best guys. They're only thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead, but it's the right 2 moves. You know what I mean? Like they can see the patterns. So they're like processing a lot of information.
That's
without
what I like
thinking
about a fighter's mind a lot is first of all, I'll say this too. In a fighter's heart and in a fighter's mind, it really, not since I read Rescuing the Bible from Fundamentalism by John Shelby Spong, because he sub-references books of the Bible so much. That's like number 1 as far as sub-references where I went and did my homework.
Right.
But in your 2 books, like you referenced Liebling, you referenced the gal, what was her name?
Barbara Ehrenreich.
Barbara
Ehrenreich.
And Josh Waiskin. And from your book, I've read probably a half dozen books.
They're good. Some of them are good.
And Outliers is from your book.
Yeah.
You really
nice.
don't quote bullshit. You really, study greatness. And with Josh Waiskin talking about playing chess and the way, the transition from chess to push hands and jiu-jitsu really isn't that.
That's cool.
You think like, well, egghead to jock on the ground wrestling. Like, no, it's still just thinking a couple moves ahead and feeling the guy out and doing it, putting him on your time.
Well, and, that's a higher level thing. So much of it is still, jiu-jitsu is just like wrestling. It's just you have to have
Jiu-jitsu
this.
is wrestling with a lot more grass.
Intuitive.
A lot of weed. Jiu-jitsu is wrestling on weed.
That's a whole other topic. Don't just derail me. But
I apologize.
I'm already derailed. It's come. But
Josh Waiskin getting the guy on your time.
There's all this intuitive instant react, like you're talking about, you're hitting that crossface and the guy sprawling, all that stuff. You need that, mastery before you move into what Waitzkin's talking about with getting him on your time. You need to have all this built-in instant reactions to tiny shifts in weight. When he switches feet, you go, oh, I can shoot now. I can't shoot now. Oh, I can shoot now. No,
right.
That all has to be there before you get into,
Josh Waiskin wrote, what was the name of his book?
The Art of Learning, which is tremendous.
The Art of Learning. He said he was in one tournament against a Russian kid. He was very young. And he should have really just taken the kid apart, but it just stretched on for a very long time. And he felt very pressed. And he felt an odd, like screws being put to him sensation, and he couldn't put his finger on it. And great chess matches, I guess, go on for like a week. And it was the second day, halfway through, he realized the kid's coach taught him when you have like a pawn, just
right.
He was just tapping, but he just tapped a little quickly.
Right, speed him up,
and it sped Josh. That little thing sped Josh up
right.
For an entire day. He was like, "Why can't I put this fucking kid away? He sucks."
Right.
And then when he identified but in a fight. That tapping, taking you out of, that ends the fight.
It's huge. Well, it's huge. I mean, getting a guy off rhythm, and that's when you get sophisticated. And that's what I'm talking about, where I can't do any of that stuff. And the high-level guys you're seeing on TV. And that's what's interesting about when you watch the Ultimate Fighter show. Because you're seeing guys fight with 4 fights. They can't do any of that shit. So you're seeing a lot of more raw.
Right.
Like, and in a way it's kind of more exciting, because it's like these guys aren't very good, and they make a lot of dumb mistakes. What you're seeing on TV, these guys, particularly boxing, but they've got hundreds of fights when you talk about their amateur career. But with the UFC, 30, 40 fights, and they're playing those games. I'm trying to pull you into my rhythm. I'm trying to get you to, those unspoken pacts that Teddy Atlas is always talking about. Well, you won't do this if I don't do that, and getting guys. Pressure fighters, I'll follow you around until finally you just say, fuck it, and you can hit me. Just stop following me around, I'll stay in here. You can hit me.
A battle of wills.
And, that's where you get into that kind of really interesting place. But it's, there's 10,000 people watching, and there's sort of, 3 or 4 people that are appreciating some of those duels, and it's, people want to see somebody's head go flying, and the rules get pushed that way, and the refs get pushed that way, and that's sort of the way it goes.
I can't tell the listeners enough to get these. I think I've made it very clear. And you two have done a very good job sitting Indian style. Angie cheated a couple times. We're going to have a photo.
You guys are doing very good.
We'll put it on fakemustache.com.
It's no joke, right? It's starting to hurt, huh? It is, yeah.
How long has it been?
Starts.
20 minutes? Now imagine you weren't listening to Sam Sheridan talking about fighting and
No, I'm
meditating.
impressed. You guys are
If you were
doing
just alone in a room, you'd probably hurt more.
It does get worse.
You'd be mindful of.
You do this little thing. I forget how it goes, but you do like a little. You're doing this like. Again, because you're trying to get back to mindfulness. You're doing little patterns and little movements to bring your mind back.
We're going to take a photo of these two clowns sitting with their mustaches on. We'll put on, because you guys need to be on the fakemustache.com site anyway, because you're here all the time. You're part of the crew. But I think it'll be very nice. You do a fake mustaches sitting Indian style. I'm looking forward to that. Sam Sheridan's book, A Fighter's Heart, his follow-up book is A Fighter's Mind, and the book you're currently working on.
The Fighter's Mind. And then I just finished a book called The Disaster Diaries, which you'll get a copy in a few days. It comes out in January. It can be pre-ordered on Amazon.
They can pre-order it now?
Yeah.
jmohr.com, click the Amazon link, and get the Disaster Diaries,
which is about surviving the end of the world. Learning the skills necessary to survive the end of the world.
Are these actual skills that you think will work for surviving the end of the world? Or is it
we'll come back and we'll get into it because it was such a fun book. And living in California, I did a lot of stuff with like UCLA, researchers about earthquake preparedness. And, you should have at least a month's worth of water in your house if you live in California.
I have it in my bladder right now.
When
we're done with the podcast, I pee so long that I'll say goodbye to you, and then I got to go back and pee again.
Do it. Do what you got to do,
I got an awful bladder. Sam Sheridan, first of all, you're just one of my favorite writers.
Thanks,
and
man. Awesome.
not to wash your nuts, but I'll fucking do it. I fucking love both your books.
Great.
I tweeted you and you didn't answer, and I was a little crestfallen.
I'm sorry.
But
I'll check it. I'll get on it right now.
Get on it because these people are going to get on you and they're going to tell you something that you said.
What should I tweet about? You tell me. What should I tweet about?
You can write, I had breakfast this morning with...
No, but what should I... I mean, should I... I don't want to tweet about what I have. But what should I
People take pictures of their fucking food,
Yeah,
Sam.
but what do you tweet about? Dates you're going to do comics. I mean, for stand-up, it makes sense.
It's promo. Yeah, but with an author, it makes sense because you want...
Yeah, because I'm doing press now, but for the most, even 3 years, I'm not doing anything.
You should start... Honestly... You should now start tweeting, hints to help surviving the end of the world.
Right.
Like little by little nuggets.
Copy that.
Matt Damon said in Cowboy... What the... Drugstore Cowboy.
Matt Damon?
Let's hit pause.
Dylan.
Oh, what happened?
You are?
All right, ready?
That was pretty good.
I'm wrapping it up with this. I want to get it right. Sorry, I don't want to fuck up my nice, eloquent outro. Let me know when we're going. Sure? You sure? You fucking Indian style prick, you. He's like, we're good.
Look how sweet Jesus.
Veins. Rolls over on my son. You just see my baby's feet sticking out. Fucking anvil on his head.
We're good.
All right, are you hitting play?
Yeah, we're good.
We had to stop and start again because Matthew decided to sit out of his stance, and then Angie followed him. Both guys tapped out 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But when Angie went back, it was not an hour. It was an hour? It was 45 minutes.
Good,
see, time is a human illusion.
Yep.
But Angie got back up, and I go, "Hey, feelings is good." And when he said "good," he fell out of his chair, knocked over the dat, and almost died in a vein of sticking. It was amazing. Apparently, it is a lot harder than you think. He had a complete breakdown of all of his faculties. I wouldn't be surprised if you sharded. That's how crazy that was. It's too bad there's not, that fail website.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see, guys coming out of meditation fail. Just stand up, get lightheaded, hit your head.
Just drop.
Oh, I forgot to draw chalk around my ants.
Damn it.
Oh, gosh. So Sam Sheridan's been our guest. You'll come back and we'll do your book and we'll teach you how to tweet. And tweet him at Sam Sheridan. It's that simple?
I don't even know. I think it's World of Fire or something like that.
No, you're Sam Sheridan on Twitter.
Yeah, cool.
If not,
Fighter's Mind, maybe? I don't know. Something like that.
No, bro, you're Sam. I tweeted you.
Some dude out there named Sam Sheridan.
Matt Dillon in the movie Drugstore Cowboy in his voiceover towards the end of the movie, some guy's just pounding his face in because they think he's withholding, and he's not. And the voiceover says, "There's nothing more life-affirming than having the living shit kicked out of you." And I thought that was a neat. I remember at the time it really striking me